The world is evolving rapidly, yet we're not embracing inclusion at the same pace.
We're all different, and our differences can generate various points of view and contribute to creativity and innovation.
That's why at DuPont, we believe in embracing diverse talent, valuing each member of our team, and providing inclusive leadership. We can utilize our differences to better achieve our goals and objectives. We've made a lot of progress, yet we strive to go even further.
There are still people working in environments where they feel as though they don't belong. We cannot all contribute ideas if women only hold 20% of seats in the boardrooms of top companies globally. Unconscious bias in the workplace is just that, unconscious. It occurs before we realize and negatively shapes our assessments of people, especially when it comes to decisions such as hiring, promoting, and developing talent.
Research shows that diverse, inclusive teams are not only more innovative, they're also more engaged and creative. 35% of diverse teams outperform less diverse teams, while diverse companies are 70% more likely to capture new markets.
It's very interesting.
So you better keep smiling.
Sherry. I'm part of the winner zone.
Hello, everyone. We are back. We're back. James, what is that?
Welcome to season 2.
Yes, you heard us right. We are back for a new season with a fresher look, as you can see from all our posters, right? More fresher guests, although we might have repeating guests because we couldn't get enough of them, and fresh, new, hot HR topics. However, yes, in case you're wondering, we're still the same. You know, James and me, the power duo. We hope we still have our loyal audience as well as our new ones with us. So let's hear from some of them. I see there are quite a few of you on the show already. Say hi, then we know you're there. However, here are... James, you said something?
No, I just said however.
So here's a little bit about our show. HR Intervention, or commonly known as hashtag HRTV, is an online talk show brought to you by Compass Mind Asia, a well-known corporate training provider company that helps organizations grow exponentially, pop exponentially through our award-winning and proven corporate training programs. In this show, we interview HR experts about everything related to HR and career development. So last season, which was last year, we had 20 amazing episodes with amazing guests and topics. And we've covered some really important issues, things like business resizing in the pandemic, unconscious biasness at the workplace, building resilience, and so much more, isn't it, James?
Amazing. It's like mind-blowing. It's like, when you first asked me and that handsome first guest appeared in your first show.
Okay, time to cut. So guys, if you want to watch the rest of the episodes, that was
start from the first show.
No, not the first one. You can watch on second and onwards. Okay, watch the first one because the main guest on that show was my darling Red James. So do watch our previous episodes of the last season on my YouTube channel. Our team will put the link in the ticker below and also in the comments. So come by and watch all the previous episodes because there was so much of learning, so much of sharing, and so much of giving from all the HR leaders that we had
Talk
during
about
this
giving. When I getting your ang pao from you?
I want ang power you sent to me.
I have, but this one got no money inside. I feel. Then this one, last but not least, I thought, Sherry needs, okay, but I ran out of money. So, oh my God, I can't
It's
believe
okay.
we are back after more than a month of hiatus. This is so exciting, and I've still got that. I was like, yes. Anyway, if you're still wondering about our show, basically, this show is for everyone who has a job, whether you
Yeah.
are a freelancer, business owner, or especially if you are in HR. This show is for you. Hi, Audrey. Oh, look who's just dropped in, Mr. James, Captain James Fong. IR Captain. How do you do?
Hi, James. Hi, Audrey.
As we mentioned earlier, this show is brought to you by Compass Mind Asia. So if you're looking for ways to upskill your employees, either through soft skills, technical skills, or if you want to further enhance your team's engagement, email us. The link's running. We'd love to see who our loyal audiences, as well as our new ones are. And we have had audiences from parts of Malaysia, not only Malaysia, but around the world as well. We've had audiences from America, Australia, China, India, Pakistan, India,
Oh, many.
Pakistan, and so much more. So please, Bangladesh, you forgot Bangladesh. You forgot Bangladesh every time. And so much. So please comment away. Let us know who you are and where you're tuning in from. 我是沙子
From Malaysia.
我是马来西亚
Yeah. Hey, James. Why do I have some fuzzy wuzzy things around me? Yeah.
Because you are
Fuzzy,
glittery,
fuzzy,
ma. You always like that, ma. You always glittery, ma. You so glittery. Until now, also you glittering.
Because Chinese New Year need to give the extra ong, the extra power one.
That's why we
Correct
have gold
not?
all over. Some gold all over at the back. All go falling.
Ha, like that oh. And so before we dive further into today's topic, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Shireen Kelly, the Managing Director of Compass Mind Asia, and together with me is my all-time favorite.
Who? What ah?
Ah,
What ah? Today I am what? I don't know why Chinese New Year I don't know why any holidays lah, Deepavali ke, Chinese New Year, Hari Raya ke, I just get excited because of the amount of food that is out there. I was just talking to our guest earlier about this food truck that popped up with this favorite food of mine, which is non-halal. I'm not going to mention it, but it's like, no, I can't. I'm on a diet.
and you failed.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm still having my apple for lunch. Before I go on, hi Andreas, hi Rizal Aziz, Lily Lau, and Mr. James.
Andrea's trying to be Chinese too. He's like, "Walao way."
Welcome again to everyone, and to those who just joined us, comment below where you're tuning in from, and for those having their lunch break, let us know what you're having. Anyway, for our first episode of season 2, we have someone who has more than 18 years HR professional experience. 18 years in outsourcing shared services, consulting, and corporate HR leadership roles. You know, we were just talking to her earlier when she came in, she was like very serious. This was way before you came in, and then she saw me, she went, who is this fella? Anyway, our guest brings with her a wealth of experience. Talk about wealth, prosperity, right? Of both strategic business partnering and total rewards across various industries, including one of the big four audit firms, banking, insurance, FMG, as well as escalator and elevator industry. Talk about going up and down, up and down. Her intensive work experience in renowned MNC companies have shaped her expertise in the following areas. Are you ready? HR transformation projects, organizational development, which is my favorite, comp and ben, strategic performance management, talent management, which is again my favorite, succession planning, also my favorite, and many more. So she's currently leading and driving the people agenda in one of the leading elevator escalator company in Malaysia. I can imagine she driving them, going up the escalator. Faster, go up. And you want to go up, you come down. No matter what, when you come down, you will always go up.
That one true. You must always go up.
Yeah, when the escalator brings you down, you can always take the next one to go up. Before we go on to a more philosophical mode, please welcome our HR director, Ching Li.
Ching Li!
Hello, everybody. Hi, Shereen. Hi, James. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So happy to see you. All of you today. So happy.
So lovely to see you, Ching Li. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good, good. I had a very busy an early start of the day today because I have my own employee dialogue this morning. So we just finished around 12. So really busy day today, but it's a good start of the day.
And did you have apple for lunch too? Just like James? He's chewing away.
No.
Unlike Andreas, he's having laksa.
Yeah, man. That's so not fair.
May the carbs stick around forever.
Yeah. Before we dive into the topic today, Ching Li, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? I'm sure our audience is really dying to hear about your casual style, where you're from, your hobbies, the fun side of you. I mean, I know as a HR, you're also fun, the professional side, but more on your personal side, the casual side of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for me, I'm actually local. So I'm actually born and bred in KL. So like for now, the coming Chinese New Year, I'm happy. I don't need to balik kampung, so I just stay put. So everyone balik kampung, and I will just stay put, and I will just conquer the whole city. I can just go anywhere I want, and there's no traffic jam. All right. So for me, what I love to do, I go for yoga. So every week I will spend time for myself. So to increase my flexibility, to increase my strength, and to really zen out, just to focus on myself, my personal well-being. So this is what I do for my leisure. And of course, family-wise, I'm married with a girl. So I have a daughter, 11 years old girl. So she's into gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics. So I support her all the way in her interests. So I'm a daunting mom, and of course I'm also working for an escalator and elevator company in Malaysia. So yeah, I'm actually the HR director there, and I've joined since last year. So it's been a wonderful journey and very busy journey since then until today.
Last year, so it was like what, during the pandemic that you joined this company?
Yes, exactly during the pandemic, when all the action began. I mean, like you have all the action halfway there.
Yeah, I'm sure you came in and then took it off on a roller coaster. Although it's a pandemic, isn't it?
Yes.
On the roller coaster, get your elevators right. Not the roller coaster.
Roller coaster, elevator, summer light, all goes up. It just goes up, Same. So that's great, Ching Li. So I will just pass it on to Nina for a while. Our back end team, to have the intro video, and then we'll start with the session.
Has it got me in the video?
No, we cut you off this time. See, what is that now, James?
Even my candle is red.
Ah, you're all ready for Chinese New Year. I know that. Hi, Lily. Hi, Rizal. Hope you all are doing great. It's so nice to have you on the show. So, guys, today what we're going to be talking about is all about diversity and inclusion. Well, diversity and inclusion is more than policies, programs, or headcounts. I'm sure you guys know that. Equitable employers outpace their competitors by respecting the unique needs, perspectives, and potential of all their team members. All. As a
including the
result,
local ones.
Yay. As a result, diversity and inclusion workplace earn deeper trust and more commitment from their employees. I think it even grew bigger during the pandemic. I mean, from what I see, it's like it's become more and more important. It's a known fact that on how DNI, oh gosh, I always get confused with this DNI, it can be
Domestic inquiry.
correct. It's important for every aspect of our lives, especially at our workplace. Yet there are still a lot of organizations that don't put this as a real priority. I mean, yeah, there are a lot that are on the bandwagon, but there are a lot that also haven't put it as a priority. The what's, why, and hows will be asked and answered for sure. So stay on the show. So let's just get going with our first question, shall we? Because we've got so many
I'm
things
just dying to
ask.
ask me.
Okay, you first.
For me, working in a lot of MNCs, one of the priority in MNCs, especially those foreign companies, diversity and inclusion, it's a common thing. People talk about it all the time, right? Before we go further into today's topic, can you just explain to us the definition of diversity and inclusion, and what made you decide to talk about this topic?
Yeah, James, that's a very, very, good question. What is DNI? But of course, before I jump into DNI, I just, just to share, a little bit more on why I decided to talk about this topic. Because when Shireen reached out to me, then, I was like thinking, what kind of topics that I should be talking? And the first thing that came up, straight away was the DNI. And it all started, as I said, when I joined my present company last year. And when I just joined, and within a month, I'm being tasked to come up with a D&I strategy together with my overall HR plans for the year to support the business. So it's pretty daunting because I'm also new, and of course, I'm also new to this D&I topic. I know that there's a lot of companies that are doing a lot of work, but I didn't really go into deep dive until last year. I really did a lot of research, a lot of reading and understanding on this topic in a really, really short time because I had to come up within a plan. I had to come up with a plan within a month, right? So yes, and of course, I also did spend time to understand the importance of D&I, as part of the whole company's strategy to drive sustainable growth. All right. So in terms of diversity, basically it simply means, the state of being diverse with the presence of differences of or variety, which may include like different races, gender, religion, socioeconomic status, language, age, interest, and so forth. All right. And as for inclusion, it's all about appreciating our differences. Okay. So to value, respect, and support each other. So it's about ensuring that the right conditions are in place, okay, for each person to achieve his or her full potential. All right. So in a nutshell, just to simply put it, D&I is about empowering people, okay, by respecting and appreciating what makes them different. So this is just simply put it this way. So I hope I did explain it, in a nutshell, so it's easy to everyone
I
to
was just
grasp.
about to say, I'm glad you said in a nutshell because Shireen is the nut and I'm the shell.
Hey, watch it. Thanks for the clear definition. And you also put it in a nutshell, which made it easier to understand for many. And hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you. Happy
Hi,
New Year to
Cheryl.
you. And Happy New Year to everybody, actually. I mean, although it's coming to Gong Se Pa Chai, but it's still the first month of the year. So Happy New Year to all of you. So Ching Li, let's move on to more questions because our guest wants to learn lots from you today, and so do we. Now that we're living in 2022, we can see more and more companies practicing D&I, right, as part of the key components of the company strategy. What do you think more companies are practicing it? Is it just to jump on the bandwagon, following the current trends, or is it because of the increased awareness in more organizations? Which do you reckon?
Well, I indeed many companies, especially in the multinational companies or even in the large conglomerate, they're all embedding D&I as part of the key component of their company strategy. So of course, there are many research and studies that have shown that having D&I in the company strategy, the company will be able to outperform others, okay, with their diverse leaders and team members from different background, different expertise. They draw and leverage on each other's strengths, and of course, they work together in harmony to achieve the same goal. So, definitely the D&I serves as a competitive advantage for companies, so they will have better business results, performances, in terms of widening access to the best talent. Inclusion allows for the company to engage talent more effectively, so together, definitely, it will lead to enhanced innovation, productivity, staff engagement, and of course, increase engagement with the customers as well as the business results. So it's all good. So because of this, due to the increase of awareness and of course the benefits that I also shared just now, so clearly there are many companies who are actually begun, or to some of them may just start to embark on this D&I journey. So so it's a journey. So not too late to start. If you're not started, then it's something that good to incorporate in. So it's just that you will see the results eventually over time. But of course, there's a lot of investment and time you have to put in, to see the results.
It's amazing because it shouldn't be difficult to kickstart something like diversity and inclusion in a country which is so diverse
Diverse,
like
yeah.
us. We have a melting pot of so many different cultures, and it should just be, we can kick off just like that. But how would you describe the current statistics of DNI in the workplace, for example? It's been I know overseas, certain countries, they practice or make it compulsory that this is included in their agenda. Are there still many out there that don't see this as a priority and put it at the back end?
Well, I would say that depends on the level of maturity of the D&I practices in each of the organization. So, I mean, generally, I can say that these practices is relatively, still at the infancy stage in many organizations in Asia, especially in these recent years. But of course, I dare say that, of course, there are some companies who are, extraordinary or they're exceptional, that they are much more mature in this space. And definitely, you'll be seeing a trend and practices moving forward, and that's more, and there'll be more acceptance level, and definitely over the next few years for sure.
All right.
I mean, our
So-
show is diverse and we include everyone. We've got so many different people. Our audience is
Correct.
Yes,
Yay.
yes,
So
exactly.
now we've got a question for the audience. But before that, dear audience, which are diverse, if you guys have questions or comments for Ching Li, please put in the comment section so that we can get them answered for you. And meanwhile, we have a question for you guys also. Does your company emphasize on D&I, and what do they do to make sure it is enforced? What are the enforcement practices that they put into action? Share with us in the comment below because we also want to hear from you guys. So yeah.
I mean, to practice DNI, do you need to have? I mean, this is out of. Do you need to be? Do you need to have a specialist who knows everything about DNI?
Yeah, that's a good
You
question.
know, yeah. Do you need, like, you said you just joined this company last year, right? And for you, you did the research, etc., etc. But this is, do you have to have I'm asking a question from the audience. Do you have to be a DNI practitioner or somebody who is qualified, for example?
Like a counselor like that? Is
Yeah.
there a certification to, yeah, specific?
Anyone can be a DNI ambassador, so you do not need to have a special qualification for that. Of course, for the matured organization like my
Ching Li Chew.
I thought we
I just
okay.
disappear. Yeah. So I think everything is fine now. Yeah, so
You
I was sharing with
diversified
you.
for a while there.
Yes. So as I was saying that at the global level, we do have a specialist just on DNI.
Mm.
So because my company see as an important, one of the key component of the strategy. So we do have a specialist, but of course, anyone, you and me, can be DNI champion. So we do not need to be, specially qualified to do this for sure.
Yes, that was actually a flow into my actual question, which is, when you're speaking about DNI as part of the companies, as part of a key component of the company, what are the benefits of DNI for the organization, for example?
Yeah. So for the benefits for the DNI, I mean clearly, as I said earlier on, that I've mentioned as well, because definitely you can actually see immediately, you can see the staff engagement levels, because when everyone work together, you celebrate each other festivals, and you accept each other's differences and experiences, and you can see immediately there's an increased engagement of the people. So this is the immediate. Of course, the rest, it would, with different people from different experience and background, when you have brainstorming sessions, you definitely have new ideas. People come from another industry, they come and bring in their own ideas, and then you can actually leverage on their experiences. So there's a lot to gain, rather than lose, actually. So there's a lot to gain from there. I mean, these are some of the real practical examples as well.
So it's a real benefit. Oh my God, they just disappeared to the screen, into the background.
Yes, you did. You're like slowly becoming one with the background.
It's okay. It will just happen for today because I'm using this, not my PC, but a rented PC. So I just asked for the best specs, but this is the best specs that I got. Anyway, based on your own personal experience, Chingy, what are the plans and initiatives done to incorporate DNI in your organization? And from your perception also, what works and what doesn't, that you can share with our audience, so that if they do practice or they are practicing DNI, they also can look out on this, what works and what doesn't work.
Yes. So basically, for my personal experience, fortunately or unfortunately, what's measured gets done. Okay. So if it comes to DNI, if you want to drive DNI, definitely we need to have a KPI set and target. So definitely when you have this in place, then, we would strive towards getting there. So for example, the goal could be, targets to increase 20% hiring of women into your company. So that is a target. All right. Another possible goal setting or target would be, achieving 50% increase in hiring from candidates from other industries. So just not limiting to your industry, but for other industry as well. So these are some of the examples that you can put in some measurement in place, so that everyone work towards that, to achieving that. In terms of just a high level sharing of what I've done, I mean, since I have to set the plan for 4 years plan. So basically, we started off at a very infancy stage. It's purely about creating DNI as part of our company strategy. So it's creating awareness. So what we have done is we have, example that we do have, like, people managers training just to build inclusive leaders. So we do have that kind of training that we started as well, and then we will run throughout the whole organization. We've also started like women support group as well. So we do have, because our industry here is mainly dominated by men, so we have very small number of women. so we do have like such targets, and of course we do set up a women support group to support women at their workplace All right. And of course, we also started to celebrate, like Merdeka Day, because not many companies, they celebrate Merdeka Day. So for us, we had started that last year. So it was really fun. We had like a talent show, and then everyone came and then came together, and then we played the Negara Ku and all the all
Wow.
the Malaysian patriotic songs. Was very fun. We did it online. Yeah, we had, of course, International Women's Day in March, and of course, we not forgetting men. We also celebrated International Men's Day recently in November 19. So we did it with a bang, So just to share an example, like, we have reached out to selected men, our colleagues, we connected with their wives secretly. So
Wow.
we made a short video. Okay, we made a short video and I asked them to make a short video to thank their husband and appreciate their husbands. So, and then we shared this video during our launch for the International Men's Day. And then, of course, the men were so touched, and then they're really surprised. And then I saw some tears rolling down. So it was like, I feel, we feel very happy, and and I'm sure that it was a memorable day for them, and because they were like, they never thought that there's such thing as International Men's Day. So we did that. So yes, so we did a lot. And of course, in terms of all the celebration, like, Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, Deepavali, Christmas, of course, we do have Christmas exchange presents. We do have like kolang competition for Deepavali. We have like muruku given up to our employees, and then cookies for Raya. So we did a lot, just to drive DNI. A lot that to be done. And in terms of the recruitment space, we put in plans to to allow OKU, orang kurang upaya, or persons with disability to apply for jobs in the company as well. So because we have seen in the past that these employees they are very dedicated and committed to their work.
Yes.
So that's the reason why we reviewed the positions, office positions in the company, that we can allow them to actually apply for these jobs. So yeah, so there's so many things to be done, and there's so many things to do this year as well. So just share with you this is what I've done in my company in the past 1 year. So many things.
That's
Those
like
are
that's
so
like
many
like
ideas.
that's like Santa Claus with this huge, bag of goodies in just 1 year, and you've done all these things. And
Yeah. And I got it all written down because it's amazing.
Amazing.
And you know what? It's not really difficult. I mean, just hearing you say these things, like, yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do celebrate. Yes, we do have this. And one of the other things I would like to add as well is that some companies also emphasize on women in leadership positions, not just represent number within the organization, but they have to be in a certain leadership position. So that actually drives performance, and you see women in key decision making roles, right? And it's amazing. But what are the challenges that you faced while incorporating DNI in your organization, and what would be some of the challenges that others may expect as well from trying to incorporate DNI in the organizations? Like, where to start? Like, I mean, you've already laid the basic foundation. These are the things that we do, but what challenges do you think others may face, or you face personally?
In terms of challenges, I will not say there's any, challenge to begin with. I think it's very easy for Malaysians to embrace DNI. Of course, in terms of, anything that you want to do, you set your mind for it, and then take baby steps. And then, of course, and of course, listen to your people. So like for my case, when I come up with the plan, I also have this brainstorming session that open my mind to listening to new ideas, and of course to hear from my people exactly what they want to do, how they want to celebrate, what they want to do for DNI. So 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 for me is I also learn from them. So, and of course with the collaboration from the team, which they are from different departments. So with that, when they are part of the whole DNI plan, and of course they start to have this, definitely they have this sense of belonging, and they are committed to drive this together with me as well in terms of rolling out all these plans. So if you say any particular challenges, I say it's no particular challenge. It's just putting your time and your mind and getting the right people, everyone together, and then you're just there. You can do whatever you want to do. So no particular challenge that I want to highlight. Actually, all good.
I mean,
It's nice. It's nice
I
when
just
you
want to
say-
highlight what Cheryl says here is that we cannot enforce, but HRB as recruitment partner and the hiring manager has a choice and option. So it all starts from recruitment as well. It's nice to have, that we want X number of person representing this or that when you talk about diversity and inclusion, but the first door that you have to go through and go up the elevator is the recruitment manager and the HR business partners.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That-
actually,
that-
this is actually important, James. This is a very, I mean, this is very real. Of course, you're saying that, when it comes to hiring, of course, hiring manager would be able to make that option and choice. Of course, when it comes to this, that's the reason when I was saying that, all of this, it starts from the top, I mean, you set the KPIs down, what the company needs to work towards. And after that, then, it's the leadership as well, need to walk the talk. They need to practice what they preach. And of course, if you recall that just now, the first thing that I did for what we need to do in the company is for the managers to go through like a training, to build inclusive leaders. So therefore, we need to make sure that the leadership team buys in first. Then it's easier to cascade down. So and of course, when it comes to recruitment, of course, what we can do as the business partner or even the recruiter, we can provide as many options in terms of CVs, so at least that's what we can do. And of course, along the way, of course, it will work. The selection will depend on the competency and of course the compatibility of the person with the job. So so there's a lot to be done. It's not an overnight thing. That definitely, it has to be, from the top, to walk the talk.
We have question here, an interesting question.
Uh-huh.
In terms of DNI, where it's okay to talk about, all the celebrations, etc. That's fine. But how do you tie this to a corporate strategy, your company strategy, your company business, where you have somebody with a different background and a different mindset, or even don't not just talk about culture lah. I'm just expanding the question a bit. How do you see the cultural fit for a company like yours in terms of DNI, the practice that is in the original country of origin and the practice that is here? Do you see a vast difference or are there similarities? And where does the company's strategy comes in?
Okay, I think James, I'm just trying to understand your question. So you're saying that how is DNI part of the whole company strategy? Is that your question is?
And how does it differ from the place, the country? Or like we're saying that DNI is always spoken about in MNCs or countries that are foreign to Malaysia, right? And then they come here and then they say, hey, look, over there we are inclusive and we do this, we do that, etc. So how different is it?
Well, I'll try my best to answer your question, James. So in terms of the DNI, for example, let's say for my company, it comes from the group level. So of course, as I said, it comes from the group level, and by the time it cascades down to different country, they have their own different culture, different practices and so forth. So it's each of us leaders in our own respective country, we would be the one we have to customize in terms of the plans and what's suitable and what works for our people, so we know the best. So definitely, this is one of the key, key drivers to ensure that the company are able to sustain growth. So because our company has defined D&I as one of the sustainable agenda, together with being going green, being environmental friendly, and of course having good ethics and compliance as well. So this is just just to share with you some of the actual practices that is in place.
Okay, I'm going to give Ching Li a 20-second breather since you gave her a
Our
squeeze
question.
power question and really squeezed her mind out to understand the question first of all and then give a very powerful answer. Thanks for that, Ching Li. So I'll give you a 20-second breather while I ask the audience because we still got a few questions for you. So guys, dear audience, in your personal opinion, do you think D&I is extremely needed at your organization at this moment? Just let us know in the comment section below. We would love to hear more. And Ching Li, back to you. I guess it wasn't even 20,
It's 20 seconds up. I stopped breathing with her and I'm like turning blue and I'm not blue.
You mean you stopped breathing, not started to breathe? They're turning blue. Ching Li, what would you say will be the biggest change upon incorporating D&I in an organization? And what should the company or the employees expect from it? Will it just be in terms of having more team members from different backgrounds, races, gender, personalities, ages, or will it affect the whole system and order?
Yeah. Well, this is a lot to do with,
Oops.
She's taken that 20-second breather now.
Yeah, I think she needed it.
okay. Yeah, so the leaders will need to set the tone from the top and what the top. So it's no easy task. So so it will just goes beyond hiring people from different background and experiences. So there's a lot that we can do as an individual, as a company. So just to give you another practical example, so especially during the lockdown. So a lot of us are having many virtual meetings. So in any meeting, there's always some individual who are like more talkative, and other one is very quiet. So as a leader in those meetings, I also make sure that I make conscious effort to call their names and allow each of them to give their views or to speak up their comments or ideas. So because this is the way that I will make sure that all my teams, the voices are heard, and so that they feel included, they feel inclusive in the whole discussion. So these are some of the simple steps that we do. We can do practical steps individually, not only at the company level, that to make sure that we build a very cohesive, working environment as well.
Okay, I guess results it says DNI is a strength and it is a great advantage to have. Before I go on to my question, I just want to ask, what are the advantages of having DNI? Since we are talking about advantage, right? If you're a company that is going, DNI, okay, maybe I should start auditing the number of women I have in my organization, of different races, etc. Are they equal? Blah blah blah. I mean, what are the advantages? Do you need to see an advantage to start having DNI?
Another
Well,
brain squeezing question.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, of course, you have to see some people want to see tangible results, right?
Of
And
course,
gender
yeah.
equality as well.
Yeah, so to me, it's like if you never start, you never know. So it's if not really really spend a lot of time thinking about it and to act upon it. So I think I would recommend that all of you should start thinking about it and take this seriously. So you see the result. It may not come immediately, but definitely it's the you will see the benefits more sooner or later.
You were talking about
James, you
the
okay?
when you talk about gender equality,
Uh-huh.
it's a controversial subject. If you agree, right? Gender equality. When we talk about gender equality, this is another brain squeezing question, right? When you talk about gender equality anywhere outside in the Western countries, right? gender equality means inclusive of all genders, regardless of who you are or your gender affiliation. So the difficult question here is when you are talking about diversity and inclusion, how do you bring that in?
How to bring the gender equality into the picture?
As I was saying, regardless of what gender affiliation you are in. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not gonna expose to say, the man want to be a girl or the girl want to be a man. That sort of. But how do you know, first of all, get rid of that biasness that has been ingrained in so many different companies, where the Western cultures or outside there, they don't even look at it. They look at your qualification, they look at what you can bring to the organization and not what gender you affiliate with. So diversity and inclusion is also part of that, right? So for companies here in Malaysia, uh, if they're talking about DNI, they want to go for DNI. If this is a challenge, how would they address that?
Well, I think there's a lot of ways that we can do. I mean, this is a very, very good question, James. So, I mean, in terms of, I mean, can one of the steps that we can do, just for example, let's say during the whole, before we kickstart the recruitment, when we advertise the jobs. So when we put the job description, we do not stereotype and say that, he needs to be in this to be to have this qualification to apply for this job, blah blah blah. So basically when advertisement being pulled up, we have to be gender neutral as well, so we can encourage man or female or whichever gender to apply for the role. So that's a lot to be done. So I mean, this is just clearly one of the examples. And of course, in terms of some of the jobs, as I said, like it could be like typically men will do it because of maybe it's more manual labor, for example. So for that, we do not want to make assumption that only men want to do that kind of
Yeah.
job. So when we
Yeah.
do that, when we put up the positions to advertise, we are open, and of course we do give opportunity for for the other genders to, I mean, like let's say usually it's a male role, but actually we also open up for female, so we make sure that we will also provide the female candidates to the hiring manager to select as well. So I mean, yeah, these are some of the examples that can be done. So a lot of these things are very practical steps that we can do to make sure that we give equal opportunity to both genders.
Rizal said we have plenty of women who are currently not working due to the various reasons, who are having difficulty in returning back to work. I know a lot of them who gave up their roles because it was not easy managing dual role, job and as a mom at home and the household during the pandemic. And he says because companies aren't keen to hire back talents that have gaps in their career. What's your thought on that, Ching Li?
For me, I would not totally agree with what Riza has put on, because I think it's all really it's all to do with the role that is available, and that was, I mean, whether this person or the hiring manager would like to give opportunity to these women. So it's whether the woman wants to step back and able to take a challenge, and of course for the employer to also knowing that is a gap in terms of in terms of the number of working experience, because the lady might be away from work for a couple of years. But of course with the assessment, let's say if the manager believes that she can take on the role even though she's away for a couple of years and she has the relevant experience before she actually took a career break. So I think that's something that is, I would not say that all employers would hesitate to take these women back to work. Yeah, because I do know a lot of my friends or the people that I know, they are even back to work after childbirth, after a year break, and they are back. So it's just a matter of time to get a role, and there's a lot of opportunity out there for them
That's true. It's just a matter of sharpening the saw a little bit and they are ready to roll.
to get back on track. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes.
they've already had that years of experience. They've already have the skills. It's just about sharpening it, and then they're ready to run.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, Shirin.
And,
Yes,
that-
yes.
and that's a brilliant statement, Rizal. In fact, it's not just women but also men as well. I mean,
Mm,
I had a gap
mm,
in my career as well, which I personally took for myself to handle a lot of things. So when I am going for an interview, or when when I get an opportunity for this particular position, the headhunter would ask, "There's this. How come you stopped working from, such and such day?" And I find myself like, do I really need to explain? I took a career break. You know,
and
for
I can
whatever
afford
reason.
it.
Yeah,
You know?
not because I can afford it, but I took a career break. Some people need to have career break, and they take this. The moment they start having this long pause and why, yeah,
It's
and
like
I
they
was
have
like,
doubts.
yeah. So when we talk about diversity and inclusion, it's about gender as well. It's not just about women in workforce. It's not about
Yeah.
equal pay, for example, is one where there is a disparity between the pay that a man gets and a woman gets when they are doing the same job. One, and the other is where you have single parents. You know, they I even get asked a question. There's like marital status. Why is it so important? Is my marital status important to the work that I'm doing? The forms, especially, the race, the religion, the age, and the marital status. It's like that has never changed. So, how do you talk about diversity and inclusion when the basic foundation has not changed?
Mm.
Yes, yes, very good point, James. Because I know that in US, in the other Western countries, when it comes to application form for the job application, they do not have any field to fill in, for your gender and and your race and so forth. But of course, for Malaysia, we still do that, to put that in when anyone who applies for the job. So I would say that it's just a matter of time. Malaysia will get there and just be like one of the US, or one of the more developed countries, in that sense. So it's just a matter of time we will get there. As well as going back, that you did mention about pay inequality. So
Yeah,
in terms of the pay, I would say that for Malaysia, it may not be so apparent, in terms of like you're saying that maybe certain gender gets higher salary than the other for the same jobs. I think I would say that Malaysia, particularly, you do not really see this, maybe as strongly as some other countries that I know. And of course, in terms of a lot of companies out there, especially the MNCs, they do pay for performance. So your increments and everything else is promotions. Of course, it's also based on the performance, and of course whether you are competent as well to take on that role. So not so much on the part of like whether you are female or male, you get that role. So I would say that it's much more I mean, I don't really see this sort of issues in Malaysia context per se.
yeah. Even like promotion as well. I mean, I've heard of people saying, oh, he got promoted just because he's a guy and the boss is a guy.
Mm.
They play golf together, but nobody wants to come and cook with me. You know,
I'll do that with you, James.
yeah. But it's amazing. I mean, when we talk about diversity and inclusion, we can talk about all of these things. But
It's
would
huge.
you agree with me, Cheng Li, that when you want to promote D&I in your organization, you have to encompass everything. You cannot leave a certain component out and say, "Hey, look, we are D&I compliant." You know, if you are still biased in terms of hiring women for a certain role, if you're still biased in terms of hiring a certain race for that particular role, uh, can you call yourself a company that champions D&I? You know, so these are the, you know, thought-provoking statements that I am going to leave the audience with. So, wouldn't you agree with me, Ching Li, that when you talk about D&I, it has to be everything?
Yes,
Inclusive.
everything, Yes, he has to be fair and, equal for everything in terms of gender, race, background, social status,
Age.
everything. Age, so many things. Yes. So the topic is really broad. I wish I had more time to speak on this topic because we do have 1 hour. And then of course I hope that I managed to share some of my experiences and some of my actual sharing what I did for my in my company. So something that you all can also, take and apply back to your workplace.
We
So I
can
hope
feel your passion oozing out this topic especially. So Ching Li, if you could give one advice to organization or our guest or individuals that are still hesitating on including DNI in their organization, what would that one advice be?
well, just go for it. Why wait? So it
Just
doesn't
do
take a lot
it.
of time, doesn't take a lot of effort or budget. As long that most importantly, it's aligning to your priorities and your company's priorities. So go ahead, move forward. So this is DNI is here to stay now and in the future. All right. So all the best to all of you.
And like you said earlier, also it's never too late to start if it's not started yet, right?
Yes, yes,
And you
yes,
don't have to
indeed.
have a specialist who is a D&I specialist, you know, to kickstart off. I mean, get a team together and study D&I. I mean, they can contact you, perhaps. This is
Yes,
where,
yes, yes.
you know,
You can reach out
Yes,
to me.
someone
I'm
so
happy
passionate
to
about it.
connect.
yeah.
Mm, mm.
So
All right.
we are coming to approaching
The end
our
of
the
our
end of our
session.
session for the day. So we would like to thank Cheng Li for such a complete explanation on diversity and inclusion 101, and most of all to have a serious discussion with us today, especially towards the end when I started putting you in the deep end. I was like, oops. All the previous guests in season 1 would be saying, see, he did that to me. So, memang macam tu. That's because
Feeling half sick.
I, I treat everybody the same. You see, I do not. Yeah, I'm not biased with anyone. If I threw that guest out into the deep ocean, I throw you also.
You're going to scare our guests next time, man.
No, but it's all uh, in the spirit of us as HR
Learning.
practitioners. Yeah, in
Yeah,
learning as well.
learning and
Yeah.
giving. Yeah. So before we end, would you like to give some final words to our audiences, Ching Li? And can you also share with our audience your social media links and how they can reach you in case they have, more questions and also want to build connection with you, ask you more questions, build friendship and all that kind of things. So would you like to
Yes.
share? Mm.
Yes, yes, I'm very happy to share. So in terms of my LinkedIn profile, so I can, I don't know, maybe I can just drop a message later on. I think it's also on Shireen's LinkedIn profile as well in your post. So
It
you
should
can
be
also reach
brought
out to
down
me there.
below there.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ching Li Chew. Yes, yes, you can
And
contact
our
me.
team will put in the link also in the chat box so you can join, you can connect with Ching Li after the show.
Yes, yes, I'm happy to connect, to exchange ideas or even to be, friends. I'm happy and more, very open to making new friends. And, I'm very happy to share this topic. Very passionate about DNI.
Yeah, and guess
That
what?
you
We
know,
have a
before
guest from
people who are
Indonesia today
passionate.
too.
Yeah, apa kabar, Bapak?
Apa
Again,
khabar?
thanks so much for joining us, Ching Li. Guys, we are ending our first episode with an invitation for you to join our second episode of HRTV in season 2. It's in 2 weeks from now, and we'll have another creme de la creme of HR from a well-known
Oil and gas.
So if you want to know whether the oil price is going up or going down, or should I go and fill my tank right now, don't have to wait too long. So stay tuned this coming 9th of February and register now to get the earliest updates for the episode. We'll put up the registration link in the comment section below.
So it's only the first month of 2022. So if you have any of your HR and L&D managers who are planning your trainings for the year or have any training related enquiries, drop us an email at training@compassmind.com or DM me personally on my LinkedIn. Remember, guys, to stay safe wherever you are. Before we end, we want to wish all of you Gong Xi Fa Chan. We'll see you guys in our next episode of HR Intervention.
One uncle for you. Hello. Come. One uncle for you. So.
Come, bring it on. Till we see you guys on our next episode of HR Intervention. Serious discussion only. Bye.
Bye.